All right, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome back to GDQ Hotfix. We have our second Mario run today. I guess it's actually a Luigi run. We're going to be having new Super Luigi U run by M-Chan. How are you doing, M-Chan?
I'm doing well, a little bit nervous, but thank you for having me.
Yes, not a problem. Thank you for running. Without further ado, we had a couple announcements earlier mentioning that we have the AGDQ 2020 schedule is now out. So if anyone wants to take a look at that, feel free. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. we have Final Fantasy XIV solo dungeons. Tree Fort on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Community Spotlight on Monday at 8 p.m. And then right after this run, we're going to be having the first step, which is a semi-blind race of these games, brought to you by J Hobbs and Keyseron. So, with that, I have nothing else to say, M-Chan. So feel free to get started.
All right. So before I get started, I'm going to go ahead and show this off real quick. So last year's didn't show this off, but on the title screen, if I hold on the control stick for a few seconds and then advance the title screen, okay, hold on. This requires an audio cue, so. Okay, it'll take me a few tries, but. Okay, there we go. So you just heard Nabbit for right there, and what that does is it disables the spin mechanics that you saw in Mario U. And I'm really used to the original New Super Mario Bros. U game, so disabling spin mechanics will make some of my strats a lot easier. So we're gonna be playing New Super Luigi U Deluxe, which is the harder version of Mario U. And so, just like in Mario U, time is not going to begin until I start moving on the map. So, here we go. Okay, so if you are just tuning in and you just if you just watched the New Super Mario Bros. U run, you're going to be wondering what are the differences between Luigi U and Mario U. So Luigi U, back in the original Mario U game on the Wii U, it's like a DLC expansion of New Super Mario Bros. U. It's pretty much, they added like a whole new game where everything's very identical, except there's no Mario. As you see in the opening cutscene, you see Mario's hat, and Luigi plays differently. So Luigi has slippery physics. He jumps higher, and his jumps are more floatier. So as a result, Luigi is a lot harder to control than Mario. And also, the levels have a 100-second gimmick. So all the levels are really short, but the trade-off is that the levels, they are jam-packed with tons of obstacles. So as a result, this game is a really hard game. In a speedrun, the levels are laid out really nicely. So as long as you know the levels really well, then the levels shouldn't be too difficult, but there are some hard parts. So just like in Mario U, I'm going to be getting the main power-up, which is a Super Acorn. It's going to allow me to turn into a squirrel and fly through the levels. And the objective is to, of course, keep it through the entire run. So time's about to begin really soon. And go. So hope you guys like to hear that time running out sound, because you're gonna be hearing that for every level. So there's my Super Acorn that I just got right there, and like I said, we're gonna be keeping it through the entire game, hopefully. And that is the first level. So as you can see, the game is already a lot faster game than Mario U. Okay, so 1-2 is the first pretty difficult level to do well. It is the first cycle-based level. So if I mess up, then things could go a bit wrong. So I'm going to get the star here in the back, and it's going to allow me to not only speed up my movement, but also allow me to tank through these enemies. And I'm going to chain it over to this next block right here. That block only contains a star if I hit it while I have a star. And then I'm going to ground pound this right here. This is a really hard secret exit to find casually, but you can ground pound that in order to get the secret exit here in this level. And that's going to allow me to skip to World 5, just like in Mario U. So coming up in the next level, 1-Secret, just like in Mario, you do have the ability to switch characters. So in this case, this would be the first level where you can play as Nabbit. But unlike the Mario U run that you just saw, I am not going to be using Nabbit at all. And the reason is mainly because I don't like using Nabbit for my runs. Because I don't often like the idea of, you know, Nabbit running through all the levels and taking through the enemies. And so this is like a lot more skill-based than the normal version of the categories. So this is the first water level right here. I had to take advantage of the currents that are coming from these pipes in order to gain up some movement speed. All right, I could have gotten a boost from the last set of currents, but I unfortunately made a bit of some movement error, but that's okay. All right, so so now we are jumping right away into World 5. And World 5 is where things start to get really hard. So only 2 birds like the U run, but if this was not explained in the original Mario U run on the Wii U, that level would actually notify you that you could post your experience onto Miiverse, but you know, Miiverse does not exist here on the Switch, so it does not notify us about Miiverse at all.
So speaking about that, what are the big platform differences between Wii U and the Switch?
There are no major level designs, or there's no major differences in level design between both games, so they're very identical in like speedrunning wise. Some levels have different aesthetics, but other than that, there's no real major differences. The only, I guess the one major difference is in a speedrun is the fact that you could change characters in the middle of the run for some categories. And because like you can choose characters, there's like multiple subcategories for all the categories in the game. So what I did there, I did a safety strat. I'm opting for a 77 at the end of the clock. At the end of the level, and that's because there's, unlike Mario U, there's not very many backup strategies. So if I lose my acorn, then I will have this as a safety. So, Toad's letting us know that Nabbit stole our stuff. We don't care. if you go out of your way to go catch an abbot, you get a PA corn, which there are some levels in the 100% run where you utilize the PA corn, but unfortunately that's way out of the way to get the PA corn. Okay, so there is a choice between 5-2 and 5-3. 5-3 is faster to do by half a second, but I'm choosing 5-2 because 5-3 as Luigi is not marathon safe. And so this level right here is pretty straightforward. And there we go. Okay, so just like Mario U, this level also features our first major skip. So there's a large block snake that we have to ride through the entire level, but with precise acorn movement, we are going to skip it. So here we go. This is really difficult. And we got it. So that saves 30 seconds, which is very significant through this level. And now we're going to be fighting Boom Boom. And Boom, pretty straightforward. You just jump on him 3 times. And because Luigi jumps really high, the setup for this fight is a little bit different than in Mario U. But as long as you get the first hit, then the hits 2 and 3 are very simple. Okay, so the castle is getting evil looking the further we're progressing into the game. But we're okay. Coming up now is the ghost house. And the ghost house is really difficult as Luigi, so hopefully this goes well. The beginning part is, and then we're gonna get the star right here. Hitting that star block, otherwise I would have jumped right. And getting the star right here saves 1 second. It also makes making that large jump easier. You can make that jump without the acorn and without the star, but it is pixel perfect followed by precise spins. Okay, so the next level is an auto-scroller, which is there's not really much to talk about for the auto-scroller. Arm lives. And that's pretty much it.
You know, with it being an auto-scroller, is it okay if I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, when did you start running new Super Luigi U? What made you choose this game over other games?
So, it was right after AGDQ 2016, where one day, like after watching that marathon, I was really bored on YouTube, so I just looked up I wanted to watch some speedrun videos on YouTube. And I encountered Waller's world record at the time of 100%. It was a 2 hours and 24-minute time, and I watched through the entire run, and I was really amazed by that run, and I thought I could match that. And then, unfortunately, though, I was really wrong. But But I really enjoyed that run, so I got into it. I didn't want to get into 100% right away because it would be long, and I didn't want to get into any percent either because it was a competitive category, and I didn't want to get into competitive stuff right away. So I learned a category that wasn't popular at the time, which is all castles, which is a mixture of, seeing most of the game and going as fast as you can. So it's a more expansive version of any percent. I learned 100% later on when a runner named Supernova asked me to race. So that's pretty much how I got into the game.
That's awesome. Races are a great way too, because then you have someone to play against.
Yeah. Okay, so we're done with the autoscroller, and now we're moving on to World 7. And World 7 is my least favorite level of any category in this game. It is very difficult, where you have to avoid all these fuzzies, and then coming up right now, there's a very hard jump. I can get it. That is, I just made right there, is a 2-frame window. And if I am too early or too late, I would die. So I'm really happy I got that. The reason that level is really hard is because you're normally supposed to use the penguin suit that this level contains. But we don't have time for that. Okay, so now we have a choice between 7-2 and 7-3. 7-3 was faster in Mario U, but 7-3 in this game is a lot slower, that it's not worth it in this game. So we're doing 7-2. And 7-2 is very straightforward. And you can jump on the wigglers for fun, but you also have to avoid the waddle wings as well. And there we go. So, just like in Mario U, this next level is probably the second hardest level in the run, because it's pretty difficult to go through, and then the boss of the level is luck base. So hopefully this goes well. Okay, that jump right there was pretty precise. It's really easy. If you do that slightly wrong, you could get hit by that dry bones. And this next part right here, you just gotta wait for the screen to go up, while at the same time dodging these fire bros. These fire bros have really, so it's usually not a good idea to attempt to kill them. Alright, so this boss is completely luck-based, just like in Mario U, so hopefully we get pretty decent luck. Alright, that one was alright. So the first 2 hits is pretty much a guessing game as to where Kamek is going to spawn. And then the third hit, he always spawns in the middle. So in PB attempts, this could very easily be a run killer. There is a way to hit Kamek on the very first spawn, but you have to be very lucky, and you have to really be ready for it. Alright, so Vanishing Ghost House has a secret exit that we are going to take. And casually, I find this secret exit to be kind of hard to find, because you have to kind of just wait. You're normally supposed to wait for that moving block that I passed over earlier to fall down, and that way you can see it. But we know where, if you know where it is, you can just fly to it. So I waited right there because the fastest time you get is an 88, which means fireworks. And so losing a second is better than losing 15 seconds. And so that secret exit skips a lot of World 7. As if I were to do the ghost house normally, I would have to go through a big RNG segment to do one of 2 levels. And then after that is another level that is a really long auto-scroller. And so by taking the secret exit, we go into the castle. So this castle has a bit of a hard trick at the end. You can kind of go slow on this first part because you have to wait for this moving block to pass you. And so for the second part right here, I am going to slow down on purpose, and that is so I can set myself up for cycle, so I can make this a lot easier. So that's harder than it looks. And that is a common theme for New Super Luigi U. A lot of things look easy, but because Luigi's movement is really hard to get used to, a lot of the stuff is actually a lot harder than it looks. Alright, so unfortunately, you know, with some mishaps that happened in the Mario U run, just didn't get to show this off, but with the Acorn suit, you can skip Ludwig's attack phase and then just chain hits on him. Just like that. Alright, so the next level coming up is 7 Airship. And in Mario U, it was a 6-minute auto-scroller. This time, it's a lot shorter. It is divided into 3 parts. The first part is a section where you have to ride a cloud through the end. But with precise acorn movement, I'm going to try and... Alright, there it is. Alright, so this next part's just an auto-scroller. Just a short auto-scroll section, and then we are heading to Bowser Jr. So again, just like the Ludwig fight, you can skip Bowser Jr.'s attack phase with the Acorn. And there we go. And a little time saver right there, a little small time saver right there. I land on the left block, and that's because the blocks fall from left, standing on the leftmost. The screen transitions earlier. So that fight did look easy, but Bowser Jr. has a really bad hitboxes, he has a really bad hitbox. So there have been insane clips of various NSMBU and NSLU runners where they either go right through Bowser Jr., get knocked out of hitting Bowser Jr., or just straight up get hit. And the fight becomes an absolute disaster if you do not have an Acorn for that fight. But thankfully that went well. All right, so we have a bit of a cutscene. So if you have like a question to ask me, you can ask me one real quick.
So, you know, with cutscenes and stuff like that, what do you do to like get ready? Do you like mentally prepare for what's coming up, or do you kind of use it as a mental break, or what?
A little bit of both, yeah. This is a good. This is that cutscene in particular is like usually a good time to like kind of relax your mind, coming into the final world, as you know you've already went through some tough levels already.
Has it ever like built up your nerves if you were on really good pace, you know, going into the final stages?
Yes, many times. Okay, so now we're on 8-1, and we are going to get the secret exit here in this level. So this is one of the different routes between Mario and Luigi. Okay, so we got a really good pattern there. There are 3 fireball patterns that you have to work around with in that level, and we just got the best out of the 3 patterns. What's really unfortunate about that level is that because like you have to go high up on the screen, sometimes you can get hit by a fireball and without anything you can do about it, and it's really hard to react to the fireballs because you're so high up in the screen. So thankfully we got to really get screwed by RNG there. So this level is not an auto scroller, unlike in Mario U. So we are not going to be doing 8-2 and 8-3. Instead, this level is very technical. Oh, okay, we messed up right away. All right, my cycle. All right, this is going to mess up my cycles. All right, we're going to have to play a little bit safe here. All right, not too bad. That's really a weird mistake. I don't often make that, but so that was really interesting how to react to that. All right, so coming up is elevator skip. So just like in Mario U, you do have to ride an elevator through 2 rooms, but this time it's a horizontal moving elevator. So this version of elevator skip is, well, I'll let you see for yourself. And I do have to tilt the controller in order to move the elevator. Alright, so this next room, I am going to... It's either... You can either go really big or go really safe. I'm going to choose to go big, and we got it. So that jump that I just made right there is very particular. That jump has to be high enough so that you can go over the sparks, and low enough so that you don't hit the bomb on the top. So you have like a few pixels to work with that jump. And that only saves a second over the other method. All right, and now we're off to the final level. So this first room it depends on your movement. As long as your movement's the same, then this first room should go the same. There is a recently new strat found by Astix, but I haven't practiced it at all, so I'm not going to go for it. Okay. I held up too early. Otherwise, I would have got a speed boost from Bowser Jr., but that's okay. That strat, if it goes, the strat that I was trying to go for, if it goes well, it should save you 1 second. And the fireballs are right here are always the same. And this is the hardest fight in the entire game. And we win. Oh, but what's this? Bowser Jr. and Kamek are doing something. They're sprinkling magic. Well, I don't know what's happening, so hopefully... Let's just save the princess and hope that nothing happens. Oh no! They just locked the princess. Alright, so... Yeah, just like Mario U, there is a second phase to this fight. So... I am going to be going for Fireball Skip. So... But as soon as Bowser shoots his first fireball, it skips having to shoot a second fireball, and that saves 2 seconds. And then I'm going to be doing a very hard thing where... I'm going to beat Bowser Jr. to the cloud, and this saves a lot of time if you can get this both times. Oh, that was a close one. And time. So the time that I just got is 28:02. I forgot to look up what my PB is for Luigi percent. But I'm really happy with how this run went. I managed to get to do pretty much everything that I want to go for first try. So I'm really happy with how the run went.
Yeah, congratulations. Great run.
Yeah, thank you. Like Latcher said, and at the end of his run, if you are interested in learning Mario U Deluxe, Luigi U Deluxe, or the original Mario Luigi U, or even any of the games in the New Super Mario Bros. Series, we do have a combined community of the entire New Super Mario Bros. Series. All 5 games in its series are all really fun to do. So if you're interested in learning any of them, you could ask anybody who runs the games, and we'll help you get started. Also, I want to, and then quick few shout outs to Ewaller for inspiring me with your 100% world record at the time. Shout outs to Supernova and Stash, who no longer run this game, but they were my main competitors when I started running NSLU. They were the ones who motivated me to get to run at this level of play. Hopefully they come back one day, but yeah. Also, thank you to everybody involved in the GDQ Hotfix for letting both me and Latchers participate in this event. I personally was really honored when J-Hops came to me and asked if I want to showcase this, as I've been a long-term GDQ fan since 2010. So yeah, I think that's it for me.
All right. Thank you very much, M. Chan. Before we sign off here, again, this is GDQ Hotfix. We are not done with Mario tonight, so we'll be having J-Hobbs and Keyzeron on the first step after this, doing a semi-blind race of the games that you just saw. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back in around 10 minutes. Thank you again, M. Chan.
Thank you.